Here's a short, very short, introduction to the subject of spirituality and healing, just to kind of orient you a little bit to the subject and give you a sense of what it is that we're going to be doing. There are a couple of realities here that we want to pay close attention to and take seriously. One of those realities is that human beings are a bio-psycho-social spiritual unity. When I say that, I mean that science and theology and personal experience have all demonstrated that human beings are a unity. All the pieces interact and are connected in such ways that you can't really peel it apart and say this is where this begins and this is where this ends. And that human beings are a bio-psycho-social spiritual, that is to say a multifaceted, multidimensional kind of unity. Now, if you just think about the first part of that word, the bio part, we all know that. Human beings are a biological entity. That is to say that they have bodies. They can be x-rayed, they can be dissected, they can be sliced and diced in a number of different ways. We can do tissue typing, we can do blood typing, we can put them in an MRI and we can do an MRI on them and look at the pictures. And we know that human beings are a biological entity. All of science, all of medicine is founded on that biological reality. But we also know that that's not all human beings are. That human beings are also psychological entities. That is to say that they have minds, they have emotions, that human beings think, that they remember, that they reason, that they have intuitions, that they also have emotions, which is a whole new, different layer of the human being that is multifaceted and is not very well understood. Why is it that some human beings experience the same experience so differently? That one human being experiences something and they react to it with love and joy. Another person experiences the same thing and reacts to it with anger or fear. Where do these emotions come from? How do you explain them? We know that human beings are psychological, that they are mental, intellectual, emotional realities as well as biological realities. We also know that human beings are social realities, that they do best when they are in community, that human beings are not designed to be alone, that human beings need to be loved and they need to have someone to love. And if they don't get that social interaction, they get sick. We also know that human beings are a spiritual reality. That is to say that there's a part of the human being that isn't explained by biological, psychological, social explanations. There's something about the human being that longs for a sense of a life after death, that longs for a sense that life is more than just living 60, 70, 80, 90, even 100 years and then dying. Human beings long to experience God. They long to worship. And so all of this comes together when we say that human beings are bio-psycho-social spiritual unities, and that all of this stuff is a part of what a human being is. And because we know that, we also know that illness is a bio-psycho-social spiritual phenomenon. Illness is not just a biological, physical, medical reality. It may be to some people that that person is the malignant melanoma in room 213. But just a little thought will make clear that the human being who has that malignant melanoma happens to be a multifaceted person, far more than just a disease. That person, yes, has a biological reality that right now is disordered and sick and in pain and needs to be helped in some way, but that person is also a husband, a father, a son, a brother, an uncle, an employer, an employee. The person has dreams and hopes and fears. That person is a complex person with a multi-dimensional emotional reality. And that person asks questions about God, about the meaning of life, about what will life be like after I'm no longer here. Illness is not just a biological, physical, medical reality. It is also a psychological, a social, and a spiritual phenomenon. And in the same way, healing is a bio-psycho-social spiritual phenomenon. That if we're going to be truly healing professionals, then we not only concentrate on the biological and physical realities of a person's illness, but we concentrate on that person as a whole person, as a psychological, social, and spiritual reality as well as a physical reality. And we approach the illness from all of those different dimensions. We come at it from different directions. We recognize that there is a multitude of layers there. And we make a distinction, and this is something that we're going to see over and over again, between curing and healing. Curing, all human beings are going to die. We are never going to be able to cure everybody. And it's probably a good thing, because if we cured everybody, everybody would live forever, and that can't be. Everybody dies. The mortality rate for the human population is still 100%. But while not everybody is cured, and therefore everybody does eventually die, it is possible for everyone to experience healing. Healing is quite distinct from curing. Healing can take place even though a person dies. They can be healed. And we'll be talking more about these realities as we go along, because they are very important realities to the subject and to our own humanness.